while, and I thought I'd say a quick hello from the studio. I've been threatening to do these vlogs for a long time, couple of months now. So this is my first one. The idea is that we do a monthly vlog with the progress on my art, because my art is changing dramatically. So I wanted to tell you what I was doing with the art, and then you can see where I'm coming from. Also, I'm hoping that because it's a change in what's happening with my art, that you'll be able to follow along and you'll enjoy the process. What has changed? I think the thing that's changed with my art is that I've got to a point where I've always wanted to express what a moment in time. Often it's to do with being out in nature or whatever for a walk, or I've been sat sketching. And what I wanted to do now, got very excited recently with certain people, Louise Fletcher, Lewis Noble, David Mankin, who go out, they collect information from outside in the landscape, and then they'll bring it back, and then they do a lot of processes in their studio, and their art is more abstracted, but it is based on reality. So this has really excited me. So I think it was January, I went to Kendal with Lydia, and we did an abstract workshop because I was feeling a little bit like I didn't know where to start. I did this abstract workshop with a lady who I'd met when I went to Manchester Art Fair. Here's one of the originals that I did in there, but what I'm doing is I'm actually working on it now. So this has been pasted onto board. But I found that it's the organic lines that I'm really interested in. And by creating these marks and starting to play with the colour and stuff like that, the idea is that you are going to learn what you like to paint, but also it's that something comes out in these. So a very good example is a recent piece that I've done, and I've been doing a lot of sketchbook work or work on paper because it makes sense to be doing that at this stage in the process. But meanwhile, I've also set up, you can see this painting wall in the background. I've been working hard on getting that infrastructure in place because I would like to work bigger. I can show you that at another time, but today I just wanted to say hi really, because I've been saying that I'm going to do it, and I'm hoping that I can get in touch with you more often. I also, in January, started to have an art mentor. This was also somebody who I met at Manchester Art Fair. So that was really exciting. And the reason that's really exciting is because she's getting me to look at my own work, and then she gives me suggestions, stuff to do, and it's starting to work. And I know that I'm going to have to work bigger. What she did was she got us to reflect back on what I, first of all, photographs and pieces I'd done before, whether there were any common themes running through them. So trying to find out what it is that inspires me. But also, something strange happened, because when I was in my 20s, I wrote poetry. The creative side of me is coming out with this process. And I've always been a fairly loose painter, so not somebody who's incredibly detailed, but also somebody who does like to work from the emotion of something. So what I started to do, which surprised me really, was I realised I wanted to bring my poems in. I have said in the past I do, but it was like, well, now's the time. This is a concertina sketchbook. What I've done is I set up this book, and this book, I've actually people rip up collages into books like this, and they experiment. Any sort of sketchbook's great to experiment in. Lots of people use collages of things that are ripped up out of paper, that sort of thing. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use something that was to do with me, something that I'd actually produced. So I wanted to use my poems. So as you can probably see, there is a particular font being used in this poem. Well, I actually have got a font that I use in my business, so it's still part of me. What I did was I dug out my old poems and put them into a certain font in a Word document, and then I ripped them up and it looks like it's fairly casual. It is in a way. I've sort of taken poems, ripped them up, but I have done them in a certain order. And I've also done it so that I've got something to respond to on the page. And then on top of that, I went out for a walk. And on this walk, there were lots of really detailed, because there wasn't that many leaves, because it's like this time of year, there was lots of leaves on the ground, but not on the trees. You could see all the skeletons of the trees, and you could also see the bark, and you could see the roots, and all of these things I'm really responding to. And what I've also found is that trees have featured a lot in old paintings as well. We're in Staffordshire, which is near to Cannock Chase. We're surrounded by lots of trees. We live in the countryside, so it's not that surprising. But what I found really interesting and surprising is the fact that, having got my poems on here, I realised that my poems were also all to do with things like, my nature poems are all to do with seasons. This was really, really good. So this is the colours here I'm using. There was like leaves on the ground, and the colours are related to what you find. The colours are related to the time of the year. It was still quite cold and crisp. And what I've done is I've started to put textures, and these textures were reminding me of some of the things, like there was fungi on this walk that I did. So I've tried to put the photos in. But then also it was all related to trees. So on here, you'll find that this poem is related to a tree. So I did write a poem that was to do with the branches of a tree, and it was to do with the karma within religions, branches, saying that everybody affects everybody else in this world. There's lots of these photographs on social media, etc. But I'm going to just open this out and just show you, because the close-ups of the photographs as well are quite nice. So just to give you an idea of what sort of detail there is. And what I'm finding is that there's going to be a lot of layers. I've also been doing some fast sketches. So this was just as I was going along. This is a journey that I went on. Hang on, let's start at the beginning. So as I was going along, I was just capturing quick scenes. So I love the lanes, and I never get a chance to paint them because I'm always moving too fast through them. So as I'm moving, I'm going to just to show you. So this was a journey. So as we're going past things, I'm quickly sketching. So sketchbooks don't need to be where you're actually doing incredibly detailed painting. Sometimes you really capture something with some of the quick work. You know. And I've got a workshop coming up. Now, it's not going to teach this, but it's going to teach you how to find things that you're interested in. Oh, this is road signs as well. So just things that I'm noticing. And this was sounds. Close my eyes. Just the sounds as we were going along the road. I want people to get away from the idea that sketchbooks have to be perfect. Sketchbooks are things to play in. This other sketchbook is just picking up on things that I have done that I might have liked. Yeah. So this is the start of my exploration. Things that I've liked, colours that I've liked. Also piecing up old paintings together in a different way. So this is like close-ups of old paintings as well, and black and white. And this is exploring some of the things that I actually want to explore in some of my new work. But also abstracting. There we go, snowdrops and the colours that it reminds me of. So I have been quite busy in the studio building painting walls and filling sketchbooks, or doing a lot of playing, but that's very, very important when you're creating new work. I'm filling you in where am I in at the moment. Next month I am, well, in fact, the end of, I think it's next week, I've got an abstracted landscape workshop that I'm going on. And for the following month, I'm going to be doing a whole month with Lewis Noble, which is really, really exciting, on how to work from sketches in the studio and to start to blow things up. And so that's going to be very exciting, because I'm hoping that the next time I speak to you, that not only will I have some big paintings on the wall that you can see, there's over there, it's a seascape in black and white, it needs finishing, but these are sort of abstract ideas and other ideas that I've just put there to just make me think, really. But hopefully you'll, over the next few months, see paintings come together. And I do plan to have a collection, a small collection of smaller paintings ready for June. So watch this space. It's all very exciting. And this is a different and lovely way to send out my newsletter. So I'm going to be doing this once a month, that is. And also I'll be at other times letting you know if there's something going on, or if perhaps we've got a YouTube video coming out, etc. So happy March. Have a nice Easter. Any questions, you can always ask me. If you go into the Paint with Deb's Facebook group, I will be there. I'd love you to share work. It's a private group. Hopefully that's going to be a space that builds that's just for us, really. So that'll be good. And hopefully I'm going to do some lives in there at some point. But let me get the vlogs right. Let me get that sort of thing. And we'll get there. Okay. So all about sketchbooks today. Next time we'll do something different. Okay. Bye for now. See you next time.